We've got the Tucson PHEV and the RAV4 Prime in our comparison.
Hey, by the way, welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. We do a lot of reviews. We do one of these comparisons every single week. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe if you like what you see. All right, let's get into it.
The RAV4 Prime has a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine with Toyota's hybrid system and ECVT, 302 total system horsepower, and 68 kilometers, 42 miles of EV range.
The Tucson plug-in has a 1.6-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine, plus an electric system, but this one comes with a 6-speed automatic transmission. Has a combined 261 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque, with 53 kilometers or 33 miles of EV range. Both of these utilities come standard with all-wheel drive and use regular fuel.
For EV rebates in Canada, plug-in hybrids with a battery that is 15 kilowatt-hour or greater qualify for the $5,000 federal EV rebate. The RAV4 Prime has an 18.1 kilowatt-hour battery, so it meets the requirements. The Tucson PHEV has a 13.8 kilowatt-hour battery, and it only qualifies for half of the rebate, $2,500. There are also provincial rebates available in participating provinces. In the U.S., the RAV4 Prime qualifies for a tax credit up to $7,500 U.S., and the Tucson plug-in hybrid up to $6,587.
There are differences between Canada and the US for charging times with the RAV4. In Canada, the RAV4 Prime comes standard with a 6.6 kilowatt onboard charger. With a 240 volt outlet, you can charge the RAV4 Prime in 2.5 hours. In the United States, the standard onboard charger is 3.3 kilowatts. However, you can upgrade to 6.6 kilowatts on certain models. With a 120 volt outlet and the 3.3 kilowatt charger, your charging time is 12 hours. If you go to 240 volts, it's 4.5 hours. The Tucson has a large 7.2 kilowatt hour onboard charger. With a 120 volt outlet, your charging time is 10.6 hours. With 240 volts, it's just 1.7 hours.
It's interesting with the EV rebates in Canada, that federal rebate, whether you get $5,000 or $2,500. Interestingly enough, the base price of the RAV4, although it doesn't come with the same amount of features that the Tucson gets, once you throw in that $5,000 rebate, it's actually less than the Tucson PHEV.
If you can get one. You're
Yes.
going to find that theme through this whole video. Now, a couple of big differences for me anyway is the RAV4 uses their tried and true continuously variable transmission, or it's called an ECVT. Yeah. Tucson or Hyundai with their hybrids use a 6-speed conventional automatic and a turbocharged four-cylinder instead of a naturally aspirated engine. So it's quite different in their philosophy. They both deliver the goods. In fact, the RAV4 has more power.
Yeah.
So it kind of equals out a little bit.
The Tucson PHEV has an easy driving style with an open cabin that creates great visibility. There are 3 drive modes to choose from: EV mode, hybrid, and automatic. In electric, it uses the electric motor as much as possible, but we did notice the gas engine coming on when you accelerate quickly, start the vehicle up, and when it's idling. In hybrid mode, the gas engine comes on more often to charge the battery as needed, and in automatic, the Tucson sources its power to determine what is best, whether it's electric, gas, or a combination of both. If you're doing short trips, EV mode is a great option, and automatic for those longer drives. The Tucson comes standard with blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, and forward collision avoidance assist with pedestrian and bicycle detection.
As you would expect from an electrified vehicle, the RAV4 Prime is also smooth with a quiet cabin, especially when you have it in the pure EV mode. There are other modes as well. You can choose from hybrid, which uses both the electric motor and the gasoline engine in tandem, and also a charge mode where the gasoline engine is used to power the vehicle as well as charge the battery. However, we found the revs go up, the engine gets louder inside the cabin. There's also an automatic setting, which chooses the best driving mode for current conditions. Standard on the base trim of the Prime are blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, and pre-collision system with pedestrian and bicycle detection.
One thing we find between the two of them is when you're in pure EV mode, the gas engine comes on more often with the Tucson than with the RAV4.
You know what? I think a lot of people are getting hung up on this. We see a lot of comments and saying, well, the Tucson, it comes on more often, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. You know what I would do if I own one of these? I would just leave it and let the car figure out what is the best for the situation. There's a couple of things you have to remember. One is the engine provides heat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to have more gasoline consumption when it's cold.
For sure.
And your range might be deteriorated as well.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the engine actually has to come on once in a while to maintain itself.
Yeah.
So, these cars have so much onboard computing power to figure out what's the most efficient. I guarantee you if you drove it over 10,000 kilometers or 10,000 miles, one in one, one in the other, you'd probably come out to about the same.
For sure. For me, I think with the PHEV, if you're doing short trips, put it in EV mode. Have as much of a clean drive as possible. If you're going on a longer trip, you're going to eat up that electric vehicle range quickly. Pop it in hybrid mode or in automatic mode in the Tucson, and just let the vehicle decide what is best and how much fuel economy you're going to get. It knows what it's doing.
These vehicles are drastically different in terms of looks. The Tucson PHEV has a distinct and sharp-looking exterior with an angular body, available premium projector LED headlamps, 19-inch wheels, a front grille with dark chrome accents. The rear is especially bold with LED tail lamps that look quite a lot like the Mustang Mach-E. There's even a hidden rear windshield wiper in the upper spoiler to give it a clean and modern design. This EV does not come with a spare tire, you get a repair kit.
The RAV4 Prime has a unique front end with a painted grille, a sculpted front grille spoiler, and chrome roof rails, giving this SUV a sporty and rugged design. Standard features include 18-inch wheels, a temporary spare tire, LED headlights, and LED taillights. The top XSE model is available with a two-tone paint option, vertical LED accent lights, and 19-inch wheels. The RAV4 Prime has a little less ground clearance at 8 inches compared to the Tucson PHEV with 8.3 inches.
Here's our used car alternative from CanadaDrives.ca. We chose a 2019 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV with just under 30,000 kilometers for $38,990. Click on the tab or the link in the description below to find more vehicles in this category from CanadaDrives.ca. Each week, this comparison drops twice. You're watching it on YouTube, but the day before it drops on Instagram, Motormouth_Andrea, and then we collect some of your comments and read them out.
It's the RAV4 hands down for me. I much prefer its exterior looks, but prefer the Tucson's interior. And the Toyota reliability is just icing on the cake. There's a reason why the waiting list on the Prime is years long.
Let's get ready to rumble! As a RAV4 hybrid owner, I would choose the Tucson PHEV for the nice interior, real 6-speed transmission, and a lower price. I'd take the chance buying a Hyundai, as I've owned 3 Kia Hyundai cars in the past and had no issues with ownership. Looking forward to this comparison.
RAV4 Prime for me may be a little biased because I own one, but the resale value, better EV range, and that proven Toyota hybrid system makes it an easy choice for me.
Both of these vehicles offer fantastic economy. I like the proportions of the Tucson more than the RAV4 Prime. I like its interior design and layout. It looks higher in quality compared to the more utilitarian design the Prime has. I also like the drivetrain setup as well, even though it has less power and range than the RAV4 Prime. The only upset that I have is the $2,500 difference in rebates.
The Tucson PHEV is spacious and comfortable with plenty of storage. The base model comes loaded with so many standard features, making it a difficult one to beat for value. These features include an 8-inch touchscreen, a 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster, wireless Apple Carplay and Android Auto, a wireless charger, heated and ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, power driver's seat, leather-trimmed interior, a panoramic sunroof, heated rear seats, a hands-free smart liftgate, ambient lighting, and a Bose sound system. Wow, that is a lot for a base model. The top ultimate trim for an extra 2,700 Canadian has got a few extra features like driver's seat memory, a power passenger seat, 64 color ambient lighting, a surround view monitor, 10.25-inch touchscreen with wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. In the US, there are two trims to choose from. The base trim for under $35,000 offers minimal features to keep that low price point. It has cloth seats, a power driver's seat, heated front seats, and an 8-inch touchscreen. The top trim is where you'll find all those extra features, the same as what we listed on the Canadian base and top trims.
As you would expect from Toyota, the RAV4 Prime is a comfortable, practical, and versatile interior with lots of storage. Standard features include an 8-inch touchscreen and a 7-inch multi-information display. You get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, heated front cloth seats, 8-way power driver's seat, and a heated steering wheel. In the United States, a heated steering wheel and heated rear seats are not standard. You'll find these features in the weather and moonroof package on that base trim. The top trim in Canada gets the larger 9-inch touchscreen, a wireless charger, mixed Softtex and perforated leather seats, heated rear seats, power liftgate, and a moonroof. If you add the technology package for a whopping $5,400 Canadian, you get driver's seat memory, a power passenger seat, ventilated front seats, head-up display, a panoramic sunroof, a power rear door with kick sensor, an 11-speaker JBL audio system, and the bird's eye view camera. In the United States, you get more available packages on that top XSE trim. There are 4 packages to choose from, and they range in price from just $815 to $5,300. In these packages, you'll find heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, ventilated front seats, JBL audio system, and the panoramic sunroof.
I much prefer the interior of the Tucson.
Oh, sorry.
Hands down.
I was just falling asleep looking at the interior of the RAV4. It's so dull.
I know. I mean, it needs a redesign, in my opinion.
But the Tucson, holy man, they threw everything at the base model in Canada. But you are paying just over $43,000 for it. So it's not an inexpensive car, but boy, they packed it all up. So the difference in Canada, Andrea, to go from the base model to the one that we drove is how much?
$2,700. Not much.
Spend it.
Yeah. And that RAV4 base model, which is just under $45,000, hey, it comes with a good amount of standard features, but you don't get all those extras that you're getting in the Tucson. So it's really up to you. Do you want all those extras and you're just in a more luxurious interior, or do you just want to go with the RAV4? I mean,
it's got the Toyota badge.
That's it.
It's got the Toyota badge on the front. It comes with the resale value and the known reliability. That's why Toyota gets away with this. But there you go. They're vastly different when it comes to creature comforts.
And I would say that the back seat, we're going to get into it with dimensions. They're both pretty comfortable. That rear seat, I didn't mind them at all. Both of them are good.
Let's get into it.
The Tucson PHEV is longer than the RAV4 Prime. They have about the same front legroom, but the Tucson offers almost 2 inches more second row legroom. The space behind the second row and overall cargo capacity goes to the Prime at 69.8 cubic feet compared to the Tucson at 66.3 cubic feet.
Let's start with the RAV4 Prime. The base model with standard all-wheel drive is just under $45,000 Canadian. In the United States, it's just over $38,000 US. Now the top model, the XSE, with that over $5,000 XSE package, brings the price way up to $57,000 in the Canadian market. The same thing in the United States. You add that premium package to the top model, it's roughly $48,500. J.D. Power gives the RAV4 Prime a quality and reliability score of 81 out of 100. CarEdge states the RAV4 Prime will retain a large 60% of its value after 5 years. Here's the fuel economy. The Prime earns a combined city and highway rating of just 2.5 liters equivalent per 100 kilometers. That works out to 94 miles per gallon equivalent. When the battery is depleted, you get 5.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 6.4 on the highway. That's 40 miles per gallon city and 36 miles per gallon highway. Towing capacity is 2,500 pounds, and the warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles.
Here's the pricing for the Tucson plug-in hybrid. The base trim is $43,500 Canadian, and in the US, just under $35,000. That top ultimate trim is just over $46,000 in Canada and just under $43,000 in the US. J.D. Power gives the Tucson PHEV a quality and reliability score of 88 out of 100. CarEdge states the Tucson will retain 55% of its value after 5 years. Here's the fuel economy. It earns a combined city highway rating of 2.9 liters equivalent per 100 kilometers or 80 miles per gallon equivalent. With the battery depleted, it gets 6.8 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 6.6 on the highway. That's 34 miles per gallon city and 36 miles per gallon highway. The Tucson PHEV can tow 2,000 pounds, and Hyundai offers a warranty of 5 years or 100,000 kilometers, 60,000 miles. In the U.S., for 2022, all models get complimentary maintenance for 3 years or 36,000 miles.
Wow, in the United States, they're throwing everything at it. The base price for the U.S. model, now it's kind of stripped down, is how much?
Yeah, it's stripped down just under $35,000.
5-year warranty, that comes on all Hyundai and Kia cars.
Yeah.
But you get the 3 years of maintenance?
Yeah. How about that?
Can I get one, Andrea?
I know, not in the U.S., Zach. You can only buy one in Canada. You know, I wanted to talk a bit about those J.D. Power numbers, and sometimes I get asked questions from followers or about how does J.D. Power come up with a quality and reliability score on a new vehicle?
Andrea, how do they come up with a quality and reliability score when it's a brand new vehicle?
That's the question. So J.D. Power talks to current owners, such as my mom who has a Tucson, and they ask, how is it going? How do you like it? What's your satisfaction rate? The dependability study, J.D. Power follows owners for a 3-year period of time, so it's a little bit more intense.
Okay, so you got to know that when the vehicle is brand new, they're asking people, they're also doing some math on this as well.
Yeah.
So what they do is they look at the existing stock of vehicles that a brand makes, what kind of initial quality, that's the first 90 days.
Yeah.
They look at the 3-year dependability of that brand. They look at similar models, so they'll look at the gas version of the Tucson and then the hybrid version, and they'll kind of average out what they believe it's going to be. So it's a good guess at this point.
Yeah.
I think that that's good that the Tucson scores so well. And I also think that because there's a shortage right now of either of these vehicles, those resale values that we talked about, 60% for the RAV4 and 55% for the Tucson, are going to be higher in the years to come. Now, no one has a crystal ball on that either, but you just can't get these vehicles.
Interestingly enough, my mom traded in her 2018 RAV4 to buy this brand new Tucson PHEV. And the thing about Toyota that I realized when we were trying to figure out the value of her 2018 RAV4 is that Toyota hasn't really raised their prices that much. So you can buy a brand new RAV4 all-wheel drive in Canada for around $31,000. Now, you might go on Auto Trader, which we did, and they've got, you know,
For
28, for $30,000 at 2019. And my mom's like, oh, great, I could get $30,000 for my RAV4. And I said to her, that's what they're listing it for.
Yeah.
What are they selling it for? And if you can buy a brand new RAV4 2022 model for under $31,000 all-wheel drive, why are you buying a used one?
Okay, that brings us to the big elephant, gorilla, whatever is in the back seat. You can't get either of these right now.
No.
I was in the Hyundai dealer just recently, and I asked the salesperson there, I said, when is there going to be more availability of the Tucson? He said, when the 23 models come in the fall. So currently in our market, all 2022 models for the hybrid and the plug-in are already allotted to people who said, I'm waiting for one.
Yeah.
RAV4 Prime, good luck. That's maybe a couple of years away.
Yeah.
So I think the thing to do, Andrea, is to put your name on a list for either of these. My advice is whichever one comes in first, buy it.
Yeah, we've got followers who are interested in the Outlander PHEV, the new one coming out for 2023. And I said, put your name in now, because if you wait until a test model comes in that you can drive, which you may not even get one to test drive, then you're waiting a longer period of time to get the vehicle. Here's another thing. My mom's neighbor loves her Tucson PHEV so much, he went right down to the dealership the next day and he put an order in for a 2023 model.
Okay.
So they are taking orders,
Just
but for 2023.
You can't fulfill them. Okay, quick tip before you go. Do not ever sign a contract where you give a deposit and it's non-refundable. Always insist on the contract it's a fully refundable deposit. Maybe $500 is what the dealer might ask for. Because if you don't take the car when it rolls off the truck, they'll have no problem selling it to somebody else. So don't ever sign a contract with a non-refundable deposit. So good, I got that off my chest, Andrea.
It's true though.
All right, let's wrap it up here. So there you go. If you want to follow along on Instagram, it's Motormouth_Andrea to get a comment in. And what else do they have to do, Andrea?
Well, you got to subscribe, hit that notification bell. We put out a lot of content each week, and we would love you to watch our reviews.
And when will we see them next?
We'll see you next week.